Good morning, New Testament. I hope you've enjoyed your especially long weekend. I hope that you got a chance to celebrate the Lord's resurrection on Sunday. And welcome back to this edition of Online School. I'd like your comment affirming that you watched this particular video to be an answer to the question, did you actually take advantage of your long weekend, take Monday off? Or did you go ahead and do a bunch of work on Monday? I'm actually recording this on early Monday morning, so I am taking advantage of my teacher workday this morning, but alas, I hope that you're taking the day off. So let me know if you did, in fact, take Monday off, and what did you do to have a little fun as you're loosely abiding by the stay-at-home order. That being said, this is New Testament work for April 14th to 17th. That's a Tuesday to Friday. You should be watching this video already, so go ahead and leave that comment at the end of it. This week we're going to study the book of Ephesians. You folks should be, I suspect, somewhat familiar with Ephesians by now. We go to it pretty often. You may have noted it's one of my more favorite books in the Bible. So you're going to watch the Bible Project video on Ephesians. And what I would like to do you to do for that video is explain how the two halves of Ephesians relate to one another. There's 6 chapters. It breaks up essentially into chapters 1 through 3 and chapters 4 to 6. And I'd like for you to look in the video for how the two halves of Ephesians actually sort of connect and relate to one another. How do they kind of go together? In that, you need to generally describe the content of each half in your answer and write me at least 1/2 page as if it was an ordinary double-spaced page. If you want to put that in an email, that's fine, but you ought to write at least as long as a 1/2 page double-spaced Word document or Pages document. So, Bible Project video for Ephesians. Explain the two halves and how they relate to one another. Your more focused study video this week is going to be another look at the book, Can Our Love Be Corrupted? Ephesians 6:23 and 24. It's the last couple verses in Ephesians. I'll put a link for that in the email, but I'm guessing that you're getting good enough at navigating through the website, desiringgod.org. And what I'd like for you to do in response to that video is explain the connection in those verses based upon Piper's study. Explain the connection between vertical love for God and horizontal love for people. So in this video, you're looking to kind of explain how those two concepts go together. Love for God, love for people. That is vertical love and horizontal love. So you need to dig into that video to get to that. I suspect some of you may be feeling a bit laborious and bored with these videos. I invite you to kind of freshen your interest in learning from someone more seasoned at Bible study than any of us, how to dig in and extract meaning from the Bible. One of the biggest things I desire for you to glean from these Look at the Book videos is that to read and to actually feed upon the Bible requires more intentional effort and work than simply reading and moving on with your life, just reading and bouncing along to the next thing. So I invite you to seek the Lord through these videos and use them to kind of catapult and develop your own personal Bible study in the future. and write one paragraph engaging with what Piper gives to you in that particular video. As far as your reading goes, you're going to read the entire book of Ephesians. I would recommend you read it in one sitting. If you do that in 10 minutes, you're reading too fast. If you do that in an hour and a half, you're reading too slow. So I envision this taking, 30, 40 minutes. Obviously, that's up to you. But I invite you not simply to get it done as an assignment, to actually enjoy as best you can the book of Ephesians and follow Paul's flow of thought and logic. So you're going to read the whole book of Ephesians this week and affirm via email to me that you did that. Again, that will be a grade this week. Most of you did well and just said, I read 1 Corinthians 1 through 6 last week. So this week you need to read Ephesians 1 through 6. As far as writing goes, this will be somewhat of a summary of what we've already covered with one new bit at the end. I need your Bible Project video response about the two halves of Ephesians. I need your look at the book video response about the love of God and the love of people. I need you to tell me that you did or did not read Ephesians 1 through 6. And then your personal Bible study, that should say Ephesians. That is a typo. Forgive me for that one. I'd like for you to choose one of the following passages from Ephesians. Chapter 1, verses 3 to 14. Chapter 2, verses 1 through 10. And chapter 4, verses 17 through 32. Study it as you have done in the past. Look at it closely. Try to follow Paul's structure and logic. Are there any big words that you need to key in on? What is the point? What is the message of this passage? I want you almost in some sense to imagine that you've got the text on the screen in front of you and you're digging into it, annotating it, making connections between the logical flow of thought. So often what Paul is doing is simply giving you true statements, propositions, and then connecting them piece by piece by piece by piece into a meaningful whole. And I'd like for you to do that with one of these passages in Ephesians. And as you've done in the past, tell me what truth is taught in this passage objectively. Do not just ramble on a bunch of thoughts about Jesus and love and this and that and the other. Don't just give me Sunday school answers per se. Tell me robustly what is taught in this passage. If you slap down a couple sentences, that is not going to be sufficient. That will demonstrate that you did not really put a great deal of effort into this. So I want the objective truth about this passage. But then I want you to tell me how that truth relates to you. We did this last week. So these two paragraphs are related but not identical. What is the truth more broadly, objectively? You don't have to bring yourself into that yet. It may not even be about you per se, but then take that and apply it to your life. So, Bible Project video, look at the book, reading, personal study of Ephesians, and then you're going to email all that to me by Friday. It's a somewhat short week if you're taking off Monday, but Bible work I think has been on the lighter end of the spectrum. At least that is my expectation. You can let me know if that's not true. But nevertheless, I want you to email all of that to me by Friday, April 17th by 3 p.m. We're in the middle, headlong of online school. I hope things are going well for you guys. I have found a little bit of a rhythm myself. I hope you have as well. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns or needs. Again, please, those of you that are sending me things through Google Docs, please make sure you adjust the setting that allows you to grant me access to your documents from the get-go so that I don't have to email you back to get access. That makes things a lot easier for me and for you. If you don't, then I go ahead and put in a 0 straight away until you get that sorted out. So some of you did the work, but you got a 0 and you sent me an email wondering what's up. Typically, it may have had something to do with the fact that there was no access given to me for your Google Doc. So make sure you get that straightened out if that's the way you're sending me things. Miss you all. Hopefully we'll get to see each other again in the not too distant future. Thanks, guys.